Hey everyone, this is Adam H. Cole, your couples financial counselor, and today I'm speaking to the ladies, to the women, to the wives out there. What do you do when you earn more money than your husband? How can you handle this in a healthy way inside of your relationship? Okay, and if you stay to the end, you're gonna know the essential steps to take to get these conversations going in a healthy way. And in the description, I'm gonna have a free giveaway for you that I know you're gonna love. It is my guide to starting the money conversation with your man without biting each other's heads off, okay? So I'm gonna get right to the content. Step one, first is like you may have noticed some discomfort either from yourself or your husband. So if we don't deal with it, it's just going to stay there, right? And the first thing you want to look at is self-reflect. Well, if I have this discomfort, or do I have it? And if so, where's it coming from? And the number one thing I see here is actually resentment. And in fact, they did a study that women who made more than their male partners in heterosexual relationships, they actually held a lot of resentment towards them. And the theory is that this comes out of how we're socialized, right? So you want to explore your own socialization and your own expectations that you grew up with or saw in the media or from your family, because even if you reject these norms, even if you reject these expectations, they have still penetrated our psyche, just like anything else around race or gender or anything like that. They are still there, even if, and at least until we start acknowledging them and possibly addressing them. So step two is to really consider your husband, and I have a lot more about this in my guide as well that's linked in the description below. Think about his socialization and his own life and experiences. And, especially as men, we're taught that our job is to be the provider. So it can be a really big challenge to our ego, even at an unconscious level, if we are with a female partner, our wife, our girlfriend, and she's earning more than we are, right? So when you start this conversation, depending on your husband, if he hasn't been able to explore this on his own, there may be some feelings of defensiveness or other feelings of discomfort or anxiety or whatever that show up. So be prepared to hold space for those things. And if you can, that's going to be really powerful for him and for your relationship. Now, step three is once you've done this consideration, simply ask him to have a conversation about your finances, right? And your relationship as it relates to finances. And step four is, well, once you've asked him to have it and he said yes, now actually talk about it. And talk about your financial situation, talk about how it feels emotionally, and make sure you hit on this topic as well. And here's what I'll say, it's probably gonna be uncomfortable, but if you don't acknowledge these dynamics, they'll just stay put, they'll just stay stuck. And remember, even if you don't disagree with even if you do disagree with the social norms or expectations, what you've seen in media, like I said, they've still penetrated your psyche, just like they've penetrated our psyche around other issues when you talk about like unconscious bias, right, and implicit bias. So you want to talk about those, right? And that's step four. And the fifth and final step is, well, now, once you've normalized this conversation, once it's no longer taboo, once you've gotten things out there on the table and you can talk and work through them individually and together, now you two can actually speak from a place of equality when it comes to discussing what you collectively want for your lives and for each of your lives and for your relationship moving on into the future. So again, just to recap quickly, number one is to reflect about your own life, your own socialization. Number two is to do the same for your husband. Number three is to ask him to talk about your finances. Number four is to actually have that conversation and discuss these dynamics, right? And then number five is now, once you've had those conversations, now you're ready to speak from a place of equality to build and create the future that you want for each of yourselves and your relationship and your family. So again, thanks so much for watching. And I mentioned the free giveaway that's going to be linked in the description. Click that now. It's my 3 steps to start the money conversation with your man without biting each other's heads off, because I know that's a big fear for a lot of people. And it's going to take you through some of the steps even that we discussed in this video, give you a lot more background and detail. So click that link, download that today. And thanks again for watching. This is Adam H. Cole, your couples financial counselor.